Welcome. We're going to get started in just a second here. Give me a minute to fire up YouTube. I thought I'd run Fashion Madness and Palace of Stone.
Yay.
All right. And that's why gnome poetry is considered to be the highest form of poetry. Hey, folks. Getting started in just a second. Oh, maybe I better advertise. Just a sec. I'm totally not prepared today. Like I ever am. I live in a state of being largely unprepared. I am prepared for our snowstorm. Alright, I have room for one more person. If that would be you, let me know. Cool. I have a new shield. Thanks to... Awesome. Very cool. I could use that, very much so. Let me make a quick version of it. Hello and welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream here on twitch.tv/DDOstream and youtube.com/DungeonsandDragons/live. I am DDO Community Manager Cordovan. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope to hear you in chat. Ask us a question. If we can answer it, we will. If we can't, we'll just let you know that too. And if we need to do further research, we will do that after the show. Thanks very much, Samus, for streaming before. Early Morning Rage starts at 10 o'clock Eastern every Wednesday. Also at 4 o'clock Eastern today, we have DDO as she is played. Also, thanks for the damsels streaming overnight as well. I'm on Kyber, week 2 of 2, and we're going to run a couple of quests here in my level range, including Fashion Madness and Palace of Stone. A couple of good quests that came out in 2015 that I know we've run in the live stream before, but it's in my level range and just looking to do it. So. How you guys doing? Appreciate you joining me. We've got a big snowstorm in the works here in the Boston area for the weekend, allegedly. So we'll see how that happens, but everyone's already panicking. Panic, panic. All the news headlines are like, oh my god, we might get snow. Yes, we might. See, I'm a Minnesotan, so all this paranoia about, oh, we might get a foot of snow at my mom's place in northern Minnesota, it's like, yeah, that was like Tuesday. They're having a high of negative 10 degrees today. So just so you know, Bostonians, you guys are not being so tough when you're complaining this much about the weather. And even us Minnesotans, we wear it as a badge of pride that we can handle the tough winters. But you know what? There's Canada, and they're farther north than we are, and there's a whole bunch of people that live there. You don't hear them complaining all the time. Or maybe you do, and I just don't know because I'm not in Canada. Well, let me just say, I've been, it'll be 5 years now, a little over 5 years I've been in the Boston area, and as much as people like to talk about how difficult the winters are here, they're really not that bad. couple of times a year you get dumped with a real heavy snowstorm. That's about it. So, not that big a deal. Yeah, Titan, you're in the Rockies. I hear that place gets snow. We have a Canadian. I'm in Canada, and I would like to complain. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. And that's true, the storm is also bringing the Resia Ice Games and Evening Star Midwinter Festival. That's our bonus this week. Kicking off probably late Thursday morning and running through, well, at least the next couple of weeks. I guess I need to figure out the exact end date. I'd have to look that up now. Can't remember what it was. Typical thing where it's like 2 weekends in a couple of days. So. And so we do have our guide up. You can find that on ddo.com. But you guys are all pros in terms of the Reezy Ice games, at least. I'm still really bad at the Reezy Ice games. Absolutely. I never did learn how to do Reezy. At least this time, although I've got my capped out, well, near capped out, person with favorite soul with wings. So that should help me out quite a bit this year. But try living near Lake Michigan, Javor says. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, because, I mean, in Minnesota you get that same, the basic, well, I'm going to do it for the camera here. So it comes down from Minnesota and then comes down south a little bit, hits the Chicago area, northern Indiana, Ohio, and then kind of comes back up through, New England. That's the basic jet stream. So it's kind of all the same, But Psychosis Patient says, I have a PayPal question. When is it coming back? Good question. I'm actually just talked with someone today about that, just about 15 minutes before I went on the air here. We're working on it. Hopefully it should be pretty soon. We'll announce when that's available. But we're not there yet. And it's really, there's no particular, the reason why we don't have it available right now is there's a technical issue happening, which needs to be fixed. I believe there's work on several fronts that need to happen. And we need to do that before we can bring it back, so that's what's going on. Nothing against PayPal or anything like that, it's just, we have some technical stuff we've got to work through. I love the hats. Yes, skates plus striding 30 or speed 6 or higher, and 30-ish jump, featherfall switch items, and you're pretty well set for the Reezy Ice games. I think that's probably true. You still have to work on the coordination part, which is, maybe not my strong suit, unfortunately. But I don't know. I've never really been good at the ice games. Now the one I really like is the Midwinter Festival. That one's really fun too, and a lot of the same rules apply in regard to speed. The faster you can go, the more you can collect, the better off you're going to be. I also like that you can craft some cosmetics and put some nice effects on that stuff. So for me, I tend to go for the Midwinter Festival. That's the one I really dig. But, Reese is cool too. Whatever you guys like, right? Anyway, that's going to kick off on Thursday, late morning-ish here, so that should be a pretty fun time. We are working on another patch for DDO as well. No ETA on it. Potentially, say, towards the end of the month, I think, is our kind of rough timeline. But it's really no more than a rough timeline at this point. And it's basically just going to be some bug fixes. me check my chat. Alright, I'm gonna check YouTube chat real quick. My death count is over 9,000. That's probably true. I would be curious if there was a way to just sort of get your total deaths throughout the history of DDO. I bet it is pretty high. Would love if Rizia got an update to the items, an augment or cosmetic in particular would be nice, Jay Renarin says. Yeah, that would be. We don't have any immediate plans to do that, sorry. But, you know, it would be nice. Hey, Glargo. Any spoilers for the Ranger Arcane Archer Pass? Not at this point. It's still in a pretty flexible state. Before we wrapped up the Players' Council on last Friday, one of their final sort of bits of feedback that they gave us was they gave us a couple of good days of feedback on the Arcane Archer. And so that's something that we're working on. I suspect it might be something the next council will see right away as well. I could say this, I guess, about the Players' Council, which is that we are done taking applications, really as of overnight, although I'm not going to be too picky if you get your application in, say, today. But at some point I have to cut it off and start really going through all the applications. I've already done that. I spent most of the day yesterday sorting through something like, I don't know what the final count was. It was at least 200 applications. Probably closer to 300 by the time we're all said and done here. And so I'll be working on that really this week. That's my goal for this week, is to get a list of the next Players' Council out to all the proposed list, with some extras out to all the dev teams and customer service and QA and everyone else who likes to have input in the process. And we basically create a extra long list, and then we just narrow it down until we get to approximately, I think we're targeting, I mean, there's no exact number, but it's somewhere in the range of 60-ish people. And hopefully, if all goes well, that group will be seated by, say, end of the day, or end of the week next week, perhaps, if we're lucky, something like that. Kind of depends. Any news on any extension of the producer's letter, like more information on what to expect for the year? The producer's letter came out last week, and as Sev stated in the letter, we're really moving away from a yearly year-end review into more of a sort of frequent update sort of thing. That gives us the flexibility to react to the state of the game as it stands. Not that we didn't do that in years past. It's just that our producer's letters tended to become less accurate, shall we say, as the year went on, because, we would be doing this, that, and the other thing, and then we'd have said, hey, we're going to do sentient weapons, but then clearly other priorities just got in the way. And so we want to give ourselves the flexibility to do that in a way that's less disruptive. So what we're doing this time around is basically I'd like to say at least quarterly. That's sort of the goal here on updates. So we'll probably see something this spring from Sev as well. So yeah, I think we are generally looking at something around the thing of a producer's letter every update. Like I said, we may even be more frequent than that, you know, but we'll see. I mean, as you guys know, Sev in particular is pretty chatty with people on the forums. So, um, you know, the idea of I am the producer and here's the thing we're doing all year long, that really hasn't been the way we've worked for a while now. And so it just made sense to get this one out when we could and sort of just do the stuff more frequently rather than sort of one and done, which is the way we were working anyway. Some of this year's producer, or this first producer letter of the year here, is also hampered a little bit by timing of various things, like when can we announce X, Y, and Z. And so that's part of why it's maybe a little light on the year ahead. That's kind of bummer, but you know, can only say things when we can say things, right? But anyway, that's part of what's going on. All right. Gnomes, yes. We can definitely confirm that Gnomageddon is on its way. Listening to the year in review from DDO Players News this past week, and I think it was Bonnie Bew that came up with a new sort of theme song for Update 30 of Gnomageddon. Pretty great. Pretty great. Deep Gnome Illusion Casters? That sounds like a thing, doesn't it? Belvin H says, my guildie was just asking to remind me that not all weapons with special crit profiles were updated, specifically the Cranium Cracker. Updated in what way? Are gnomes going to be short and have small hands and feet and smell like cabbage? Well, at least on the Eberron side, right? They're going to be... There we go. They're going to be about the same size as a halfling. And that's really based on the way they look in the setting there. Ooh, Epic Arcane Armor. That's cool. Nice. Alright, well, I will head over to Palace of Stone here next. Yeah, I know. Someone pulled the armor. That's nice. So we're about the same size as halflings. Maybe slightly shorter. But you know, we're all a bunch of past life people anyway, so they just get taller and taller. That light mace I got? Oh, is it good to pick up a night mace? I'll have to take a look at that. You mean the Morning Star? Yeah, it's not terrible. Vorpal light mace of devotion. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Guess I'll have to take that. It is. Quite the evil Morning Star. Okay, earlier today there was a question on the status of PayPal. Technical 13 says, do we have any update? Still working on it. It's something that the e-commerce team is working on quite a bit. Stranger Danger asks, has anyone seen a ring with intelligence on it since the random loot update, or is it just me? That's a very good question. I would have to ask No Worries in particular about the possibilities. I suspect that should still be the case, though. Gnome past livers should get smaller and smaller. That's pretty funny. Yeah, sorry, Belvin, I'm not quite sure what you mean by updated to reflect pre-change improved crit profiles. Yeah, you know, a lot of people have been commenting on that concept art that was released in the producer's letter. It is just concept art. So the gnome beard was, you know, in a conceptual state rather than, say, a final state. It's in engine concept art, but it's still concept art. Oh, okay. So Belvin explains, weapons with special natural profiles, like the Sword of Shadows, were updated to reflect pre-change improved crit profiles, but the Cranium Cracker was not. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. I understand what you're saying now. I will have to look into that. Why the Cranium Cracker got overlooked. Potential it was deliberate, but I don't know. I'd have to ask. Civic Spoon says, hey, you know, if you're saying Severlin is chatty on the forums, how come I haven't seen him post in, like, you know, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks? It's because we've been busy. We are in super busy mode right now. Particularly if you're the executive producer of a franchise, you start the year with things like budgets and meetings with finance people and blah, 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 blah. All sorts of stuff. That sometimes keeps you a little locked in meeting rooms. But but yes, he's still reading it every day. I know, because he asks me about all sorts of stuff.
The insane Dalkir vanishes, leaving you alone inside his vast underground home.
When will the Primal Epic Destinies get double shot? Currently, the only Epic Destiny... Not fall off the cliff here. Currently, the only Epic Destiny with it is Divine Crusader, and that is more for melee builds. That's good feedback. I'll have to check with Vargwheel and or Steelstar on why they do not get double shot. It would make sense to potentially do that if we're giving it to Divine Crusader. Can we bring back the old armor kits from 2014? No. Sorry. And that force is stone. Stone. Everyone is fascinated by it. Everyone wants to be. Cosmetic armor for pets? Yeah, it's theoretically possible. We could do that. I think we would need... I don't know. You know, given sort of art resources and that, I don't know if that's the best use of our art resources, but maybe, you know, if there's a good potential for it, if enough people really want it, it's something we could do. I think. Although maybe not. Maybe it would take some extra work. But I don't see why we couldn't. I mean, just so you know, if you have an Iron Defender right now, the docent you have equipped does change the look of your pet. So if you don't know that, that's something to keep in mind. Edward T says, what is the community staff, especially for mobile devices, working on? Any plans to get a moderated Discord channel? Interesting about you mentioned Discord. I was recently asked a very similar question. No immediate plans. It's a cool idea. I would have to look into what that would involve. I don't know that moderated, it would have to be more community moderated, just because I'm not going to sit in a Discord channel 24 hours a day. But potentially. It's something to look into anyway. Is the Lord of Stone a deity of some sort? That would be a question more for Knockback. But my limited understanding is, yeah, right? He's from Kyber? Can we tell us anything on the changes we can expect for Caneth crafting? My understanding of the current plans for Caneth crafting is we're going to be increasing the level. We're going to be basically bringing in the properties from the random loot system. And, we're going to be really making the process easier in terms of, I think, like maybe consolidating some of the ingredients, that kind of thing. But in general, it's going to more accurately reflect the current state of random gen loot and have an increased level and be more usable throughout the purpose of, or throughout the level range. And we'll have a lot more information on that pretty soon. Any plans to make companions/pets have more function, like looting stuff on the ground automatically? It's an interesting idea. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily seem... I don't know about looting things automatically. But it's an interesting concept.
There's the slow, silent erosion of the mountains. There's the long,
But I don't know that we have any immediate plans to, say, dramatically change the way our companions work.
There's the flow of the rock as it races towards the sea, searing everything in its path.
Again, we would be reactive to people's interest in that. If we saw a huge amount of interest in something like that, potentially we could prioritize it. But I don't know that it's on our short-term agenda here for sure. Oh, so I see what you're saying, Titan, about cosmetic. Just basically add a cosmetic slot to your creature companions. That's an interesting idea. Particularly, I think it would be more likely to happen with Iron Defenders over the, say, Druid wolves, because they're already set to take on the cosmetic look of, their docents. But potentially. I want a rock as a companion. Yes. I have suggested that as well, that we totally need pet rocks. Plus, I really like Bonnie Bue's suggestion of doing gnome shrubbery. even Chris Perkins gave that one a favorite for good reason, because it's a great idea. We should totally have shrubbery as a creature companion. We have it in that new quest. Just shrink it down. Make it work. Yeah. Oh no! Will the maximum crafting level increase, and how high a character will we be able to craft? I believe the current, well, I don't know. I'd say I believe our current plan is 28, but then I think I just heard someone say, why aren't we doing 30? So, we'll be either 28 or 30. And that'll be the highest level item. Remember, this is going to be based on random gen, so the potential, rather than dealing with potential and all that sort of thing, is going to be based on the minimum level of the item. You'll be able to slot stuff in based on that. And the maximum crafting level, I think I read something that maybe 200, something like that. I don't know. It's fairly flexible. We'll see, right? Something like that. I say we'll have a lot more information as we actually get this system more solidified and ready for preview on Lamania, probably fairly soonish. I would imagine within the next 2 to 3 weeks. But we'll see.
I trust you didn't find that static and dull. Now onward. The palace awaits.
Will I have full control over the outcome? Outcome of what? What was the end number of applications received? I need to look that up. I know I sorted through at least 200 yesterday, but it's higher than that. So, I don't know. It's been a long time since it premiered in Lamania, but any plans to bring Dark Vision live ever? I don't remember that. When did we have Dark Vision on Lamania?
Halls of reflection. A place where you can take a good, hard look at what lies within.
It's true that we haven't really dealt with multiple visions, like infravision and that kind of thing in the game. I think it's just one of those things that doesn't necessarily translate as strongly to a computer game as it would, say, pen and paper. I mean, do you really want to be not seeing things? Unless you have infravision, that sort of thing. I don't know.
Take a good look at yourself.
It would involve a lot of work to bring in something like that, and I don't think it's realistic to expect it. We do have the Underdark. You know, that's probably the closest we have to that kind of thing.
Take a moment
Cool.
to reflect. That's what I say. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up to be blindsided.
Hey, Lunchtime, nice to see you here. Appreciate it. Wow, it's a mirror. I do have another question, although you'll have to direct it at the devs, I should think, Belvin H says. Since the change to how AoE targeting works, not going around corners through doors, there are sometimes dead spots in my Ice Storm Firewall's auras. Is it possible to give that a second look to make sure stuff that's in an unobstructed AoE is always hit by said AoE? That was one of the compromises that we had to make a decision on when it came time to work on this AoE issue. The benefits of the change, currently as it stands, outweigh the... Well, I don't want to say that. I don't know. The answer is probably not. It's not that we couldn't redo the entire system, but the way it currently works has shown an improvement to game performance. And the way it basically does is it makes an initial target, right, on line of sight. But you're right, like it doesn't work around corners and that like it used to. Or through gates. But I think that's sort of the way we're gonna have to live with it for a while. So like I said, it just came down to sort of having to make a fairly difficult decision on it, you know, in terms of does that outweigh does the change bring enough improvement to outweigh that additional cost? So far, the answer seems to be yes.
Rested and refreshed, I trust? Good. Now, be on your way. There's much more to see in the Palace of Stone.
Is it working as intended that a pet's max level is still 28? Interesting. I'm going to say probably not. We'll have to look into that. I'll bring that up to the team here this afternoon. Will plans for Lamania previews be extended or kept as they are? I think we're going to see our current Lamania preview time frame to stay relatively consistent, at least for the near future here.
I trust you've enjoyed your little tour of the palace. Come find me. We should speak. Now ascend, brave adventurer.
Titan says, even if I do not stream regularly, can I still host DDO stream to my own channel? Yeah, go ahead. If you want to host DDO stream on your Twitch channel, sounds cool. Be happy to have you do that. More peeps is better. But, you know, if you want to take part in chat and that sort of thing, you're going to need to join us over here on twitch.tv/DDOstream or youtube.com/DungeonsandDragons/live. All right. Let's see.
My new palace without blood splattered on the walls. A blood sacrifice is the most ancient, the most important part of the new palace ritual. I should know. I invented it this very morning. Oh well, I'll have to settle for that other thing you've been leaking all.
Sorry, Jaren. Let me ask. I'm not quite sure what she asked about when you said, did it come up earlier? If you just repeat that, I'll answer it if I can.
A grand palace. A palace that will make this place look like a mere heaven. You know your way.
Are you asking specifically about Lamania? No immediate plans to announce there. It'll be along the same time frame that we usually see. And you can assume that our Update 30 will be around the anniversary. Anyone looking for that docent?
I don't have one. Someone else wants it.
There you go.
Oh, Schnifty. Thank you.
Who owns DDO Stream? That's a good question. Oh, it's really kind of a community channel. I suppose technically it's owned by Turbine/WTB. It's not something that really comes up. Any updates on the revamped Abishai cookie set bonus? No update. Thanks for reminding me. I'll have to bug someone about it today. It's not terrible. Go for the comms. All right. Well, let's see. Yeah, we do have time for one more here, don't we? You guys got any preference? Any thoughts?
Something where I can shoot a thing and steal a thing and break a thing.
Well, we're sitting right next to Terminal Delirium. Why don't we do that? Oops, not acute. Terminal card. There we go. Devil Assault EE. That's not a terrible idea.
From upstairs, a voice. Today, our masters are free from life. Today, we make Everall ours.
All right. Let's see. Any plans to update named loot, particularly after the random loot? There's a bunch of old, outdated named items. No. No plans to update named loot throughout the entirety of the game. Muller Brockman says, if I caneth craft an effect onto a house caneth item, such as the rock boots, prior to the crafting update, will it be destroyed? No. Existing crafting will remain unchanged. Anything you craft will stay crafted, etc., etc.
This is an army. They were thwarted for eons, but the forces of Xoriat are now ready to sweep across the face of Eberron. The Lord of Stone takes your response as some sort of acceptance. The Mad Delkir's essence weighs on your mind.
Are there any plans to update Remnants rewards? No short-term plans on that. I mean, it's something we're always looking at. That's a possibility. You know, when we're coming up with new things that to do. You know, one place we could always put it is the Mysterious Remnant system. But I'm not aware of any sort of immediate plans to be adding things to Mysterious Remnants. Or am I? No, I don't think so.
They're all here for a social mixer before heading out for a night on the town. As a servant of the Dalkir, you should mingle. Maybe meet a nice beholder or Medusa.
Any chance of devoting some streams to the lesser played quest areas like Restless Isles or Reaver's Reach? That sounds like a plan. Typically, the reason those haven't been on the stream much is it just has to do with a reflection of character range, character level. I'm not opposed to it, though. With the new Caneth crafting, will we update alchemical crafting? No. No plans to update alchemical crafting. But yes, especially Reaver's Reach. Although, God, enter the kobold. I'm still traumatized. But, yeah. That's a good idea. I should do that. Yeah. Any plans of making an epic quest arc for last year's Codex arc? It's something that we've been discussing, but we have nothing to announce on that yet. Dragon-touched armor? Yeah. That would be nice.
Monsters are assaulting your reflection in the mirror. Quickly, cross over and rescue your reflection.
Can't do everything, unfortunately. Which chest are you talking about, forgettable NPC? I don't know what you're talking about. There is deliberately not a chest behind under the staircase in this quest. Hey, Peter.
Yow.
Why not an epic Korthos? No particular reason. It's just, you know, prioritize things. We have not prioritized that. We've been focusing our efforts on other sort of things. Jerk. Make me waste my adrenaline. Hate and freaked out about Epic Sahagin. Can you imagine his reaction to Epic Sahagin? Love it. I mean, there for years people have talked about what an Epic Korthos could be, you know, and makes sense. You know, sort of flip the roles, that sort of thing.
Ouchie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Urlock. Oof.
Thank you all for getting me back up.
Oops. I don't suppose anyone.
Forgot how hard that was.
I was trying to grab the silver key there. Did anyone get it by any chance?
Nope.
And there's chunks back there. I didn't get the chunks.
Oh, who's mirrored? Whoever's mirrored, talk to the dude. Any thoughts on implementing features from the Ghost Walk campaign so death is not completely useless? No. Sorry, Civic, I can't discuss what our next classic update's going to be yet. So whoever has got the mirror buff needs to talk to Orlask in the tavern here. Does nobody have the mirror buff?
No, not me.
Maybe none of us have it, huh?
The mirror is solidly bolted to the wall and cannot be moved. There must be some way of getting a mirror to your master.
If you do make more of the older quests epic, will they drop token fragments? Probably not. Tokens are a deprecated system, really, from the old pre-epics.
I got it.
The mirror turned her stone-to-flesh gaze back on herself. She is now frozen flesh. Does that mean the original Medusa is now flesh as well?
I thought sentient weapons were being considered. Yes. It's still a possibility. We just sort of got distracted by Epic Green Steel. More than anything. Alright, Stranger, how are your rogue skills? You want to take care of the traps here?
Canister next to it is still full.
Yeah, we'll find out. I've done this quest a grand total of like twice. So we'll find out.
If not, we can just do the death route. Die a lot.
Take care around anything sharp. You might pop.
But yes, I mean, we're definitely going to do sentient weapons in some way, shape, or form. It just hasn't happened yet. Again, I can't. Sorry, I can't talk about what our epic quests are going to be, or our next classic module is going to be. I don't even want to name names, like the ones that are in chat. I do really enjoy this quest. Did we already do this? Ah, here we go. I mean, I do think we're definitely not done putting things in the Mysterious Remnants vendor. I just don't know what the time frame is to, say, make adjustments there. But it's something that, whenever we come up with new items and are looking for a place to put it, one very potential option is to put it in the Mysterious Remnants vendor. Do we do... No, Titan, we don't do a poll to see who's the best dev in DDO. Or the best QA person in DDO. Very professional work environment. That's pretty funny, though. Who wins? Well, we're a semi-professional work environment. We are, after all, a game studio. We like to have fun. Let's see. There should be a quest with unicorns and Leoplaridons and something like Candy Mountain. Okay. That sounds like a great idea. I'm for it. We go to Candyland. That'll be the next quest arc.
There's no staircase here. It looks like there's work needed to install another way back up. The Kenneth crystal is supposed to connect to the control box, but the conduit has...
Rolled a 1 on my intimidate. Alright.
Right, I forgot. I don't want to do this.
If someone's got bluff or diplomacy, we can give that a shot. Otherwise, we're just going to have to... Oh, here we go.
You are
Yeah.
a power tower.
Yeah, I got it.
Connect to the edge of an outer tile piece. You can stream your power through it. There, the ghost of a beholder who died in his place. Its obsession with puzzles.
I want more quests where stealth and alternate paths are encouraged. Forgettable NPC says. Yeah, we do like to do that sort of thing at every opportunity we can.
To turn the tile pieces. Turning, endlessly turning. Apparently that's enough for the dead puzzle-obsessed beholder to will itself back into existence.
There we go. I usually do this one from back to the front. I find it's a little easier to do that way. All right. Yeah, there are several ways you can do this one, actually. Any talk about adding level 12 content? Not really. I suppose, you know, we'll take that under consideration if you'd like. What we've been largely trying to do is fill in the gaps of the level range where we find it. So I don't know that we've seen a lot of call for that. I actually like these puzzles, but that's because I'm fairly good at them.
The tile pieces now link the Canet crystal to the control panel. They're all powered, permanently this time. The control panel is active for you to use.
Is there a secret map of solved puzzles? No. We just solved puzzles. I suppose if a dev really needed to insta-solve a puzzle, they can sort of use admin commands to just sort of do it. So there's no need for, like, say, a puzzle book. You just sort of can do it if you need to. Peter823 says, you don't make a great release, Undermountain. Thanks for the suggestion. Try a mechanic, they're hilarious. They're pretty powerful, too. Yeah. But, I mean, certainly as part of the development process, you do need to be able to solve the puzzle. So I think pretty much anyone who is making a puzzle will, at least several times, solve it themselves. Alright, ready to do some dancing here? Ooh, holders, huh? Any plans to have more quests like Terminal Delirium? Not exactly like that. This, Terminal Delirium wrapped up really kind of an arc with the Delirium chain and the Xoriat chain. Delirium, Acute Delirium, and now Terminal Delirium. But do we have plans to do another sort of more humorous, a little more strange quest? Yes, as a matter of fact, and you might be seeing it relatively soon. Has the feedback of Update 29 opened up the possibility of applying the new completions mechanic to older raids? It was never a closed possibility. It's just a matter of prioritization. I don't know that we, at this point, have plans to retrofit all the old raids with a completions mechanic like that. I think we would be working on, say, new quests and adventures instead. But potentially. Wally Coyote says, I'm still seeing some blank items basically from end reward lists after the patch. You should not be seeing blank items. If you are, that's still a bug that we're going to have to work on. And I'll have to just ask a person working on some various random gen sort of loot bugs to see what the status of that is. New spells, well, We're always looking to add new spells when we can, but nothing to announce here yet. Nothing to announce here at this time.
Look at how close they are. I'm stoked. You stoked? What?
What was in that drink? It was mad. I don't know. We're talking Xoriat here. Man, we're going to be cutting it pretty close. Is anyone unhasted? Uh-oh. We're going to lose the dance-off.
Just died of humiliation. You better come back and keep dancing, or it's all been for nothing. Yo, let's get this show pin on track. I want to see you bust a move and bust some moves.
Let's see.
That's what it's about. Playing heathen humiliation. Courtesy.
Yes, haste helps. You can say fascinate or charm the mobs. If you've got a good bard, you know this. You can make this pretty significantly easy. Basically, you can paralyze them. Any crowd control effects that would normally work will work, and give you a leg up on the dance contest.
Aw, yeah! We got new dance champions in the house. Delivering the humiliation smackdown with crazy style.
The Lord of Eyes has scampered back to Kyber in humiliation. You should speak with your glorious master, the Lord of Stone. The last of the Zorian creatures leave, and the fog on your mind lifts. It looks like you succeeded in your original goal, to kick all the
I
party
don't
guests
see
out
any
of the inn.
named. Oh well.
Sometimes these bouncer jobs
I really
can
want
be
those
quite
goggles. No, I don't believe you can drip a beholder. Got an item 2 days ago with 3 effects. 2 of them were +0. If it's a low-level effect, then that would be something we're aware of. But if it's a high-level effect, then that's something that I would suggest please to fill in a bug report on by going to ddobugs.turbine.com. That's where we collect our bugs. Oops. All right, thanks very much, you guys, for joining me. Really appreciate it. Yes, epic. Yes, epic 4 eyes. That's the one I want on this guy. Just a quick note: I'm going to get you guys a code for turbine points a little bit later on today. I'll log into the game and send you guys one for an in-game mail. Thanks for joining me to run this stuff here today. And thanks very much for joining me in chat as well. You can watch us every Wednesday starting at noon Eastern on twitch.tv/DDOstream and youtube.com/DungeonsandDragons/live. I will be back this Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern for Fridays at 5. We also have at 4 o'clock today, DDO as she is played. And Thursday, Moskrum Argo. Friday, we have CSI Stormreach as well, and Shindoku. There will be at 8:30. You can find our full schedule on twitch.tv/DDOstream. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon.